Hello and welcome to another video. So in this one we're going to be looking at daily race B this week at Redbull Ring in Group 4 cars. So we're going to be using the Peugeot in the Futurama Planet Express ship livery. So I'll get straight into the first race then. So you see here we set a qualifying time of a 1:35.056, which I think was an extremely good qualifying for me. So I'm up in third place in this A-rated lobby, and I'm currently at the top end of B at the start of this race. So you see, just starting off here, and I noticed a lot this race can be very scrappy, it can be very fun, you can run away at the front. It's got all sorts. If you get frustrated easy, it's probably best to avoid it, and we'll be showing that later on in the video, so stick around for that. But here we go with the first race now, coming up to turn 1. Very awkward to get your braking right for turn 1 off the start, and I'd possibly brake a tiny bit early but get enough of a run to keep with those in front. And now I'm hoping this Bulgarian, I think that is, flag behind Stefan, I'm hoping he stays behind me, but I'm also willing to give him it if he wants it, because I don't want to lose time. But he lets me go and keep it, so that's okay. But I turn in, you see there, just get hit by him on the exit, and I didn't know what that was all about at all. Really confused me, that one, but we'll look at the replay in a minute. But as you see, we're side by side now coming into the next turn. So coming down to turn 4 now. See, hard on the brakes, and look, I'm stuck on the outside, and a great move there by the Finnish driver, just mugs me off because I'm stuck on the outside. So it shows how easy you can just lose places in this if you're not careful. And there we've gone down from 3rd to 5th here. So we'll just go back and have a look at what happened there. So you see, we're just coming up to turn 3 here. And as I said, I was willing to give him the inside if he wanted to move, but I was hoping he didn't, and he doesn't. He races sensible, backs off, and then he sort of accelerates into me. But to be honest, that looks a little bit netcodey there. It's a bit of a weird contact that it pushes me wide. But let's just look from his point of view. I still think he could have possibly backed off a bit more, but I was annoyed at the time. But watching the replay, I don't think it's as bad as I thought it was. I thought he just accelerated into me, but as you see, he didn't touch the accelerator. I think he's just took too much of that curb and bumped into the back of me. So, and then here's that overtake. Look, I'm stuck on the outside, and he just takes advantage of it straight down the inside there, gives me no space, and he's through. So superb move there. So we'll see what we can do. We're now down in 5th. We see already showing in this one you can end up going backwards if you're not careful. But as I said, I was hoping that Stefan had worked with us, which I think he was going to, and he just made a little mistake, you know. But if he'd have worked with us, I think we could have, without that contact, we could have stayed with the 2 in front. But unfortunately they've got away, which is, if you're at the front, exactly what you want to do. So we're in the sort of mid group now. So again, going to try and play it clever, which is the best way really on this track. You want to try and work together, because here you lose so much more time, I think, than on even any other tracks defending. You just, you know, if you start defending, you can be going 3 or 4 seconds a lap slower. It's really, really bad on this track. So as you see there, the Finnish driver outbrakes himself there, and we get past. Just gives us a touch. Race coming back on as I understeer out to the edge of the circuit a bit, but nothing wrong with that, I don't think. So we carry on. You see now in the slipstream of the guy in front, so hoping to get back up to 3rd, which is where we started in this one. So trying to get a good exit, keeping it in 3rd round that corner, because you get a bit too much understeer and you hit the limiter too quick if you drop to 2nd. And then similar here with 4th, but if you need to turn in, so you can just drop it to 3rd if you don't think you're turning in. But if you go straight to 3rd and try and take it in 3rd, you end up understeering wide. 4th, you just stop that wheel spin. So 4th's generally better there, but it does depend on how fast you're managing to go. As you look again, we're just going to play it sensible here. We're not going to go for anything. We're just going to stick behind him, keep good lines, and hopefully we can push him on to catch the 2 in front, and we can race for 1st. Because you know, 2.7 seconds. It is possible to catch up. See, as we go purple there, so, but as you can see, that we're not really gaining on the two in front, so they are going quick as well, it seems. As Stefan runs a bit wide there, will he get a penalty for that? Let's have a look. No, doesn't look like it. Think he got away with one there. Got to be very careful. Very easy to pick up a penalty coming out of that turn 1. We're coming in turn 3, so just let off early, hit the braking point because I don't want to go for the move, but he goes deep, so I managed to take the move anyway. But as I said, I was hoping to work with him, see if we can close the guys in front. But as you can see, up to 2.9 now, so the two guys in front were very fast in this race and very consistent. They must have been putting in 35 5s at most on every single lap in this, or that's what I would guess anyway. Obviously I can't see their lap times, but that's what I would guess at, because they were just pulling away all the time. No matter how well I was lapping, they were still pulling away. So as you can see now, we've got the South African DDT behind us, who we did do a race with before this, and he did dive bomb us a little bit, but I did say in the comments to him, you know, good race, but maybe calm it on the dive bombs, because, you know, and in this race he was a lot more sensible, and I think it paid off a little bit for him at certain times. But you do have to watch out with this track for dive bombs. But as you see there, they've clearly ended up side by side behind, so we've now got out of slipstream range, which is good for us. So we're going to do everything we can here to pull away and see if we can gain a toll on the two in front. We see the guy in second place has set a 1:35.3 on that last lap, so as I said, they're not slow, these two in front. They are flying, so I don't think I'm going to catch them, but I definitely want to keep that gap behind extending if I can, which we've got it up to 1.5 now. So we'll just accelerate through. You can just see the lines trying to keep it smooth, but a bit of an awkward position now, because as I said, I don't think I'm catching the two in front at all, but I shouldn't be caught now either as long as I keep it clean. So my aim on this last lap, just don't get any penalties, take it sensible, you know, no need to push it too hard. And as you can see, that's what we're doing, just taking it nice and sensible, hitting our apexes, getting our exits, not running wide, not cutting any corners, not getting any penalties. And you see, we were faster than our fastest lap at that point. We'll just slow it for the last two corners, but here, see, just took it very sensible. Even though we were faster, I didn't want to risk getting a 1 second penalty or 1.5 seconds and it being put up to 2 seconds and losing a position because of it. So just bring it home in third. So very good first race, and that got us back up to A for only the second time we've been A rated. So hopefully we can stay A rated this time and push on a little bit more. So just coming into this next race now, and as you see, we're starting this one in second place, again with the same qualifying time. You see, we've got that Finnish driver that was in the last race in fourth, who made that good overtake on us. But this race is definitely more scrappy, and it shows that at this track, if you're not careful and you make mistakes, you make errors, or just, you know, or you get caught up fighting, you just end up going backwards. And I have noticed in this race, if you're starting 5th or 6th, it's so much easier to go backwards than it is to go forward. You just, you know, it only takes too wide at one point, you getting stuck on the outside, anything like that, and you get stuck. So you see, we get a poor exit out the first corner, misjudging our braking point, so we let the German by. I don't want to fight him, so I did actually flash him here to try and let him know that I'm not going to fight him, and see, I stuck to the outside to let him know I'm not going to go for it, brake early. But as we know, that Finnish driver will go for a move, and he did get it done. There was a gap, but then we get hit by the Brit, so not a great move from the Brit, I don't think, there. And really, I think the Finnish driver would have been better waiting, but we know what he's like, and he made a good move again. But we'll just look on board here. So you see, he does get it fully alongside and get it stopped, so that's alright. But then the Brit just, no gap, and just pounces on us a little bit. And as I said, this is what happens if you're not careful as we look, the Brit's quite a way back compared to the rest of us, and he brakes really late, and he does just get it stopped, but he sort of bumps me out the way. So, you know, let me know your thoughts on that move, but I thought it was a little bit naughty really. But as I said, this is what can happen, and I got lucky here. They must have been fighting behind, because if you look, I've out of slipstream behind, but I've also lost the slipstream in front because of that. So that shows, imagine if those cars behind were still closer, you know, I'd have ended up in that fight with them cars behind then, so, which they have actually closed back up now, as you can see. But that's basically what can happen. It just takes one little thing and you end up in the pack, and it can be so frustrating. But now we're going to push to see if we can get on these cars in front, because unfortunately we've lost the slipstream now, but the German behind is in our slipstream. So let's see if we can get a good exit out the final corner and start to close them down. So not the greatest, but definitely not the worst. And we are closing that gap slightly, but as you see there, the slipstream kicks in and they start to pull away again. So, but someone up ahead has got a penalty. Frenchman by the looks of it, and he's dropped into second place now. He was the leader. And again, the Frenchman in this is very controversial, and similar problems to me, as you'll see. He'll show one mistake getting the penalty there and you get swallowed. So as you see, really the Finnish driver could have probably waited on the Brit, but they both totally dive bomb him a little bit there, the French guy, even though he's got a penalty. So he's dropped to third. So now that should get us back in the slipstream, which it does. Is he going to cover the inside? I thought he was, so go to the outside, but he lets me have the inside. So I've got overspeed on him, so I go for it, and he just turns in on me. So I was a little bit annoyed about that, because I felt he just turned in on me there, but we'll have a look at the replay now and see. So as you look on board with me here, you know, if he protected it, I'd have gone to the outside and let him have it, but he opens up. I've got the overspeed. I'm definitely getting the car stopped. I don't think I braked too late there, and he just sort of turns in on me a little bit, but presuming he maybe didn't notice me, because if we look from his point of view now, it was quite late before I get there. But if you look, he does turn in very early for the corner, which is a bit weird. So maybe he thought that was forceful from me, but personally I don't think there was anything in that. I think he turned in on me. You know, I think it was a fair move, but let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So we'll continue on here, and they're going purple there. You see, just barges us wide a little bit, and then I moved to the outside and thought, oh, I've gone too far to the outside. I actually, when you watch the replay, nearly ran him off there, unfortunately, but luckily I didn't. But you see, I get a little bump from behind, which bumps the Frenchman wide, and the guy behind gets past the Frenchman. So as you see, you know, just shows how easy you can drop back. So we'll just watch from on board with the Czech driver here, Jurka. So as you see here, I do actually nearly run him off the track there, but noticing, you see, I just swerved to the right just in time to give him chance to get back on the track. So I nearly made a really stupid error and forced him off there, but continue on. But you see, the French guy, just because he ends up on that outside, he just ends up getting mugged. And this Brit here, look, sort of dive bombs him a little bit and mugs him. And I said, this is what can happen in this race. If you end up fighting or end up stuck in these battles, it's just so easy to drop back, because you get stuck on the outside and 3 or 4 cars will all come past you at once, and it's a little bit carnagey. I've heard some people say it's dirty, but to be honest, I've had a couple of races that are dirty, but I think a lot of them, they're not dirty, they're more just that people going for aggressive moves and not being patient, and you sort of get stuck, and it allows other people to take advantage of you being stuck on the outside. So you look here, guy goes for a bit of a dive, so I have to delay my turning, but to be fair, he does give me the space on the outside. So as we run down to turn 4 now, we're side by side, but he has got the inside line. And as I said, this is sort of what can end up happening if you end up fighting. So see if we can hold it. No, so we go for the cutback maybe, and he just blocks us off, doesn't go fully to the outside. So good move there. So now I'm still looking at that, can we catch the 3 in front, but I'm starting to think no at the moment, as we drift a little bit wide there. so we have to lift off and change down. And then again, totally mess up the entry there because we were trying to half defend it, so that allows the Brit to come alongside us. So now we're going to have to defend the inside here. So as I said, this is what can happen, you just end up defending all the time. And I didn't notice it at the time, but look, the Frenchman just shoves it down the inside. I don't know if there was space or not, but that then takes those two out and allows the German through. So you see what I mean? We'll look at the replay and see what actually happened there. And the Frenchman, he does move to the inside while there's still space, but I never noticed him because I was concentrating on the guy on the outside. But he totally outbreaks himself, knocks me into the guy next, into the Brit. You know, the Brit then obviously goes off, the Frenchman goes off. And it allows the German here, as you look, just to switch back. Nice, easy, free-car pass there for the German. So, you know, I don't actually think anything was dirty in that. There was just some really poor driving, I think, from the Frenchman. And in this, his driving was very questionable. So you see, he just taps me in the rear there, but I did brake early because of the slipstream. So he might not have quite judged that properly. So I don't think there's anything in that one. But you see, it looks like fourth might be starting to get away now. And this is just what happens if you battle. You just get swallowed up by the pack and go backwards faster than you're going forward. But you see, we just get hit from behind again by the Frenchman, which causes us to take the German out. So unfortunate to the German there. So we'll just look and see what actually happened. So you see, the Frenchman just outbrakes himself, hits into me, I hit the German. You know, and we both go off. So again, I don't think that was naughty, he's just outbraked himself. But now I'm just full defensive. I thought the way this race is going, I'm just on, let's try and hang on for the best position we can now. So Frenchman tries it round the outside, turns in on me a bit, nowhere to go. So we can't hold it round there. But, you know, the Frenchman's driving in this was, to be honest, I don't really know what he was doing, but I did ask him at the end of the race what was all that driving about, and he did apologise and say it was his fault and he was driving badly. And to be honest, I think he just got frustrated because you got to remember he started first, and that lap where he got a penalty, he got swamped by two drivers at turn 3. Then he had to serve his penalty, then I got past him, and then he's ended up in this battle just going backwards. So I think a little bit like me, I was getting frustrated at this point, which is why I was defending so hard on this final lap, as you'll see now. But I think the Frenchman here had the same issue, Jeff. I think he just got so frustrated. So I don't think he was driving dirty, he just wasn't driving sensible. So you see, we give him the space on the outside there, and he's still there, but he pulls back in behind us. So again, we're going to have to really aggressively defend turn 3 again now. So they're the two cars on the outside, go to the outside. So now we're 3 wide, brake earlier because we're on the inside. And we do keep that inside line, and that just pushes those two a little bit wide, which unfortunately just knocks the German off. But everyone keeps it together, so all good there. But again here, I'm having to just defend heavily because I just know the way they've been driving. So I brake a little bit early with being on the inside line, and the Frenchman brakes so late and cuts right across me. I was lucky I didn't get taken out there, didn't hit him or anything, but that gives the German the run because of that, because it really put me off. So now we've got to give the German the space on the outside, which we do. So now we're still side by side here. So I just understeer a little bit, but that turns out good for me because it just blocks him off. So we'll just go back and have a look at the Frenchman's incident here. So as you see, he pulls out to the outside, but look how late he brakes, so late. He's never stopping that at all. I don't know what he's doing. As I said, I think he's just lost the plot a little bit, frustrated. But you look all the way down into 12th now. So it shows just how easy it is to drop back through the pack if you're not careful in this race. So again, I've sort of lost the plot here, so I'm not driving well at all now either. So I'm over defending here, trying to stop the cutback, which I do. Over defend here because again I kept getting dive bombed, but that gets me a poor exit, and the German does the sensible thing, sticks to the outside, gets the cutback and beats me to the line. So well done to the German there, Metro Pomental. So he does well there. We see 6th place, and you see what I mean. You can see by that race, you just get caught up in the pack, unfortunately, and drop back. But that's all for this time. So hope you've enjoyed the video. If so, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.